Apple stock has not been doing so well this year, as you can see, selling off quite a bit, currently oversold on the popular RSI indicator. The stock is also trading near a strong support level reached last year in September and also October, where it bounced from this support level. So there is a good chance technically that the stock can bounce again from this level. But if you've been following our channel, you know that we don't trade stocks bullish or bearish unless the wealthy investors are also trading in that same direction. Because as we all know, the rich are getting richer and the wealthy investors have the capital and the resources to know what will happen to the stocks in the future. So that's why we follow the trades of wealthy investors. And so we want to make sure that before we trade Apple, there are wealthy investors trading in the same bullish direction. So without further ado, let's get to the data analysis of unusual options activity to find out how the wealthy investors are trading Apple today, March 11th. As you can see here, at 3 p.m. last hour, we have a lot of these trades happening at these puts, but these puts are deep in the money. You can see the deltas are very high, close to 1 here. So this is not very meaningful to us. And we have some trades here at 2:33 where they are selling calls, which could be a covered call strategy, which is also not so significant in our analysis. So we used our systems to detect something more deeper. And what we found is, if you take a look at the March 2025 here, we can filter that out. You can see here that there were a lot of trades happening for this option a year away at the 205 strike calls, right? Most of them were being bought. And also the 235s as well. And most of them were being sold. Okay. So when we take a deeper look at this trade, we can go to the March 2025. You can see it's 375 days away. And we can see here at the 205 strike calls, we have 6,000 volume, much greater than the open interest of 1,200. So we know that these were opening trades, and that is significant. Same on the 235 strike calls, 5,000 volume, greater than 272. So these were also opening trades. We believe that this investor was buying the 205 strike calls and selling the 235 strike calls. And you can see the estimated price of this trade is about $513 per trade. Okay. In options terms, we have to multiply by 100. Okay. Because every options represents 100 shares of the stock. Okay, so if we do a quick calculation of this 513, there was a minimum of 5,000 of these contracts. The spread being traded, so we multiply by 1,000 and we get about $2.5 million. Okay, and because this amount in the trade typically would be a high probability of profit trade, but because Apple is a $1 trillion company, a 2.5 million trade is not does not meet our threshold and our criteria for a significant trade to be categorized as a high probability of profit trade, and that is why we simply also followed this trade with our position here as well, buying the 205s and selling the 235s, because we don't spend a lot of capital and time into the trades that do not meet our threshold. If you are interested in the higher probability of profit trades that the wealthy investors are trading, go to our website. We'll put a link at the top here if you want to learn how to gain access to the trades that have better data, where it shows us more clearly that the wealthy investors are taking large positions that actually move the stock in that direction with a higher chance of happening. Okay, so that is when we use more sophisticated option strategies and not simply follow the trades to reduce our risk and maximize profits. So this trade that this investor is trading, we can analyze it, and you can see here on the profit loss diagram. Okay, so let's take this off. This is the trade here. The vertical call spread, because they bought the 205s and sold the 235s, a buy and a sell. We are only using one contract for demonstration purposes so that it is easier to calculate and to see how much each trade costs and how much it could potentially make. Okay, you can see here on this profit loss diagram, Apple trading at 173 on the x-axis here, and on the y-axis is the profit. If the lines are above this zero, this is profit. If it's below, it is a loss. Okay, so you can see as Apple stock goes down, this becomes a loss, and for each trade, the max loss is 513, the max debit paid for this trade. And you can see here on the blue line at expiration, max profit, you can see is 2,487. Okay, the purple line is the current date here, but if you look over here, you'll see the blue showing the date of the profit at expiration. So that's max profit, 2,487. Okay, so that is how we could calculate that. 2,487 max profit divided by 513 is the cost, times 100, meaning this trade could potentially make 484%. Okay, and you can see that the break even here is right over here, where this blue line intersects with the zero. Okay, the zero here is the break even. So that is at about 210. Apple has to trade above $210 by March 2025, in a year. So this investor expects Apple to be above 210. Now, this trade, keep in mind, can immediately become profitable if Apple starts to move up. You can see here it starts to become profitable already on that purple line. So it does not have to wait. This investor can close out of their position and, for example, decide to take profits around at 195, which would be 100% profit because they spent 513. This profit, 522, is more than 513. Okay, because the profit that's being shown here already takes into account the cost of the 513. That is why if Apple were to move down, it would be a minus 513. Okay, so based on this analysis, there is a good chance that Apple could bounce from here, because we do have a wealthy investor who has $2.5 million and wants to risk that amount, potentially thinking that Apple could start moving up from this support level now. And if it doesn't, they do still have another year for Apple to break that 210 price level here. So depending on when they close their position. Okay. All right. So that is our analysis of what could potentially happen to Apple and how we are trading Apple. Depending on the data, we may adjust our trade as well and update it because, as always, we follow the data. And if there is suddenly a wealthy investor who has a lot more capital and spending a lot more than 2.5 million and is bearish, then we will readjust our trades, manage our risk. And that is how we trade. If you want to learn more about how we use options and how we find the trades of wealthy investors, make sure to go to our website. We'll put a link at the top here. And as usual, please smash the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and comment below. What do you think will happen to Apple? Will it bounce from this support level? Or will it break down? Take care and have a great day.